He got some to spiritual beauty ministry. So the word that God placed upon my spirit is called "Don't Let It Cost You." I'm coming from the book of Judges 16, verses chapter 16, and it is about Samson, a young man who God had given astronomical power to. His strength was so strong, it was beyond the average human's power and strength. And the reason why God gave it to him is that he was supposed to use this to take down the Philistines. But what ended up happening is that Samson got caught up in his own way, that he ended up going the wrong way. And that is why God does not want us to get so caught up in our pleasures that we become blinded by the very thing that is trying to take us away from our purpose. And God places you in a position, do not lose sight of the mission. The enemy knew the weakness of Samson's pleasures, and that is why they use his pleasures as bait to cause him to go the wrong way. The enemy is going to use your pleasures as bait to cause you to go the wrong way. See, what trapped Samson was that he allowed that he was in the enemy's territory, serving his pleasures rather than his purpose. As that when he met Delilah in a place of a valley. Now, when you're in a valley, everybody knows that a valley is a transition before you get to the mountain. And so Samson was in the valley, and then here comes Delilah. Delilah was the bait that the enemy used to send Samson the wrong way. He's supposed to come out with victory, but Samson came out of this valley place as a victim because he let his guard down and he got caught up in his pleasures that he did not see the enemy that was planning. See, Samson was so focused on what was being given that he did not realize what he was losing. Samson began sleeping with the very enemy that God had called him to go slay. He was supposed to supposed to walk out a word, but he got caught in the trap of the world. Samson let his guard down, and when Samson let his guard down, the enemy took him down. The reason why Samson let his guard down is because Samson got cocky with his power. He got cocky with his power, and he saw himself as untouchable. But what Samson had to understand is that his power was useless without the power of God behind him leading it. And whenever God gives you something and you begin to think that you begin to think that you made it because of you, or you or what you have is because of you, you are operating in you. And when you begin to operate in you from a gift that God has given you, God will take it from you. And what Samson did is that Samson, like I said, he was cocky. Samson began to walk in vanity, and that is what cost him his victory. It says that it says that when they cut off Samson's hair, that it said that the Spirit of the Lord left him. So the minute you begin to make this thing about you, begin to take what God has given you, you begin to take it for granted, and you begin to do it and serve it in the wrong way, God is going to take it away. Have to understand is that when God sends you in the room, God is sending you to do what he has put in you. The place of where Samson was at, the territory that he was sitting on, was a place was supposed to be a place to where he was going to have victory, not become his enemy's victim. He was supposed to bring his enemies to their knees, but the enemy wound up bringing him to his knees because he wound up serving this gift in his way. And when he began to serve it in his way, he got in God's way. And that is how he ended up going the wrong way. Do not let pleasing people cost you your purpose. See, that is why God took away Samson's power, because he was no longer using it to serve purpose. He was using his power to satisfy his pleasures. And the minute you begin to use the thing that God has given you to satisfy what you want for you, you are now walking in this thing in you. And when you are walking in this thing in you, you are no longer looking to him to lead you. The territory of the thing that God has brought you to is for you to walk out that thing victorious, not to walk out that thing as a victim. And if you are walking out that thing as a victim, then that means that you are somewhere you have come into contact and you have made an agreement with something that God did not call you to sleep with. You have made an agreement with something that God had called you to slay, but you wound up sleeping with it anyway, and this is what is costing you your purpose. God will, like I said, let what you built fall so that you can see that it was him that had you standing. Do not let pleasing people cost you your purpose. So when you allow God to lead you, then God is going to show you and God is going to warn you, allow you to see what is before you. But when you are leading you, your eyes are blind and you don't even see the enemy that is before you. God gave it to you to serve it in the calling that he's put upon you. See, when God places the calling on you, God wants you to serve it the way he gave it to you. God has called you to change the room, not look like what's in the room. The minute you begin to pursue your own pleasures and you abandon the mission to your purpose, God is going to take you away from the position.